Hello and welcome to my channel. I am San D Fun and today I'm bringing you a new video and what it could be the continue of my narration. It's the part 4. Welcome. So I did up till here. You must have read it, so I'll be continuing from here. An unsettling fear gripped her heart. She was alone. Her thoughts raced. Could bandits have kidnapped them? Could they have been taken by wild animals? Her breath quickened. She needed to find them. Into the forest. Arming herself with a flashlight, she rushed deeper into the woods, calling out softly, "Guys, if this is a joke, it's not funny." No answer. Her feet crunched against the fallen leaves as she wandered aimlessly, the dense trees making it harder to see. Every shadow seemed to move. Every sound made her pulse jump. Then she saw them, a line of figures moving through the forest. Her heart hitched, her breath hitched as she ducked behind a tree. It was her friends, but something was wrong. They walked in perfect unison, their faces emotionless, their movements robotic, and leading them a little ahead was a tall figure in a black hooded cloak. Helliana's eyes widened. Who was that? Her heart pounded. This wasn't a prank. Something was seriously wrong. Instead of acting recklessly, she followed them quietly, staying hidden behind trees and bushes. For several minutes, she tailed them deeper into the forest, where the trees grew thicker, blocking out even the moonlight. And then she saw it, a house, a steady, eerie-looking house, standing alone in the middle of the forest, as if forgotten by time. Alien's stomach twisted in unease. This place should exist. She watched as Star led her entranced friends through the door. Without thinking, she crept closer, her heart hammering in her chest. Taking a deep breath, she carefully sneaked inside. Whatever was happening here, she was about to find out. The air inside the house was thick and still, as though it hadn't been opened to the outside world in years. Dust clung to every surface, and the faint smell of something metallic and rotten lingered, like the air itself was warning intruders to stay away. Elena's heart pounded in her chest as she pressed herself against the wall just inside the entrance, careful not to make a sound. Her friends stood eerily in the center of the dimly lit room, their eyes blank, their bodies unmoving. They looked less like people and more like lifeless puppets, waiting for a command. And there he was, Star, the boy in the black hooded cloak, stood silently before them, his dark skin contrasting sharply with his emotionless face. His presence was cold, calculated, yet strangely handsome. Eliana's gaze narrowed. Who is this guy, and what did he do to them? Star didn't speak to the friends he'd gathered. He didn't have to. A simple flick of his fingers, and they all knelt down in unison, as though their will had been stripped away. Then, footsteps. From a shadowed corridor emerged a master, a tall, older figure, cloaked in even darker robes. His face was hidden beneath a hood, but the aura he radiated was almost predatory. Eliana instinctively held her breath. "You have done well again, Star," the master said, his voice a smooth, sinister whisper. Star didn't respond. He simply nodded emotionlessly. The master paced around the frozen friends, examining them like objects on display. "Can, and an extra again," the master nodded. How generous! Star remained still, his face unreadable. You know the limit. Oh, sorry, you know the rule. 10 is the limit, the master said, his tone a little colder now. Aliena watched from her hiding spot, her mind racing. What happens to the extras? Then the master smiled beneath his hood. I'll set the extra free, he said softly, just like the others. Star gave a small nod, still obedient, still emotionless. Eliana, however, felt a wave of fear. Set them free? She didn't trust those words for a second. The master raised a hand, and a dark magical aura swirled at his fingertips, a sinister energy that seemed to drain the life from the room. Eleanor's gut twisted. She didn't know what would happen next, but she knew she couldn't stay hidden any longer. The master's dark aura twisted like a smoke, its tendrils wrapping around the 10 extras Star had gathered. Their blank faces remained motionless, oblivious to the dark magic seeping into their very existence. Aliena's heart thudded in her chest as she watched from the shadowed window, her fingers trembling against the frame. You have done well again, Star, the master repeated, his voice like silk, dipped in poison. Star, his skin illuminated faintly by master's magic, gave a silent nod. His pace was still emotionless, his posture rigid, a puppet following the only commands he'd ever known. Then came the reward. From beneath his cloak, the master conjured 6 cup noodle cans and placed them on the dusty table with a soft clink. For your royalty, 2 days of freedom from hunger, the master said. Star's face didn't change. No joy, no excitement, just a blank acceptance of the so-called reward. But Aliena's heart sank. Cup noodles. Was it all it took to keep Star obedient? The boy collected friends, not out of malice, but because his survival literally depended on it. The master then turned to the extras. Now, I must set them free, he said with a cold smile, the dark aura swirling around him and his new captives. Without another word, he led the 10 hypnotized people out the door, moving away from the house and deeper into the forest, not to the town, but in the opposite direction. Aliena's breath caught. The darkness swallowed them whole until there was nothing left. Not a single sound, not a flicker of movement. It was as if the night itself had consumed them. A heavy, gloomy silence filled the house. The air felt thicker. Helena's instinct screamed that this wasn't right. None of it was. Her fingers dug into the windowsill as she peered back inside. Star's story. Star now stood alone in the dim room, surrounded by Aliena's hypnotized friends. Their empty gazes stared into nothingness as Star, for the 100th time, did what he always did. He spoke to them, not like a leader rallying his troops, not like a friend sharing a laugh, but like someone reciting a script, a story he had told over and over, as if hoping the words might eventually mean something. You are my friends now, Star began, his voice as flat and hollow as his expression. I found you because I need friends. No response, not that he expected one. He stood stably, his black cloak slightly shifting with his every breath. His long, brown black hair, it would be black hair, okay, untamed, fell over his shoulders. His face remained void of emotion, not by choice, but because it was all he knew. My master says the only way to have friends is with magic, because people don't like me when I talk to them. Well, let me just start with the narration, right? My master says the only way to have friends is with magic because people don't like me when I talk to them. Alien's heart squeezed. When I try to talk without magic, they run away. They think I'm weird. He didn't sound angry, he didn't sound sad, he just sounded empty. Master says that's because the world is full of monsters in the day, and I'm one too. Alien's breath hitched, so I only go out at night. That's when I can find friends. Star shifted his gaze toward the six cup noodles on the table. When I bring friends, Master gives me food. If I don't bring friends, I don't eat. There was no bitterness in his voice, just a dull acceptance, as if he had never questioned his life. If there are more than 10 friends, Master sets them free. He says they are lucky. Alien's stomach twisted. I don't know where Master takes them, but he says they go somewhere better. Silence. Star stood there for a long moment, staring at his unmoving friends. You will all like it here. You have to. The hypnotized people didn't blink, didn't flinch. Star just stood there, alone again, surrounded by people, but lonelier than ever. Alien, still trembling by the window, felt a wave of emotion crash over her. Fear, confusion, but most of all, pain. Star wasn't just dangerous, he was victim too. He didn't understand friendship, he didn't understand freedom. He only knew obedience, survival, and manipulation, because that's all his master had taught him. Her heart broke as little as she realized. He didn't even know he was being manipulated himself. Eleanor's fingers trembled against the cold windowsill, her breathing shallow as he stared at Star, the boy with with black hair and lifeless eyes. His words echoed in her head, more haunting than the eerie silence surrounding them. I don't know where Master takes them, but he says they go somewhere better. Her heart pounded. He doesn't know. Star truly believed his master's lies. He thought setting his friends free was an act of kindness, not realizing that every person he collected was walking into a fate far worse than the hypnotic spell they were under. And about the brown hair, by the way, I actually wanted to make his hair brown, but later on thought that black would be better. So for that reason, the brown there could be some mistakes that I can find brown hair somewhere. So just ignore it. I will try to correct it to black. So just wait. And those cup noodles, his reward. Was that really all he lived for? Was his entire life reduced to a simple trait? Capture people for food? Aliana's gaze drifted to the table where the 6 cans of cup noodles sat. The sight of them so ordinary yet twisted by the dark reality Star Lipton made her stomach churn. The room remained silent except for Star's steady breathing. He was still standing in front of Aliana's hypnotized friends, staring at them as though waiting for a response he knew would never come. Finally, his voice broke the silence again. Tomorrow night, I will find more friends. It wasn't a choice. It was a statement of fact, an endless, emotionless cycle. Eliana bit her lips so hard she tasted blood. I had to do something. But what? Her friends were under some kind of spell. Star's black magic. She didn't know how to break it. And the master, what if he came back? She wasn't sure how powerful Star really was. But the master, the dark aura around him, the way he passed into the forest with her friends, he was a different kind of danger. And then something unexpected happened. So, if you want to know what happened next, maybe just read the story and also comment how do you like my narration. So, thank you and see you in the next video.